Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lorraine Rose, and if you're new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. It means so much. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to get up and get motivated on a cold winter day. We have had some really cold, really depressing winter days here in Georgia, and for me personally, it's been really hard to get motivated when the days are just so cold and dreary. All I want to do is just stay in bed all day. So that is my first tip for you, and that is what I did. This video that I filmed today was one of those days for me. It was just a challenge getting out of bed, and so what I did was I got dressed, I put my hair up in a little tight, messy bun, and I went to the grocery store, and I also purchased a couple new things for my home. And I didn't make a list before I went to the grocery store. I just bought stuff to make soup with and to make some homemade bread with. I bought stuff to make a detox lemon drink that I will make later on in the week for you guys. And coming home and unloading my groceries, I just felt so motivated to get things done around the house. And then the next thing I did, as you see here, is I actually had my father-in-law help me with this. He drilled a hole in this cabbage for me that I bought, and then I just strung a piece of rope through it, and I'm going to be giving it to my chickens because they too do not like the winter time. I feel like my chickens are so much happier during the summer, but giving them this piece of cabbage on a string will really help them from being totally bored, and it'll hopefully get them moving a bit. And let me just say, I went out to the chicken coop a little bit later, and this cabbage was almost completely gone. They loved this so much. They just kind of peck at it. It's like a piñata for a chicken. They had so much fun just pecking at it, and you know, if you have any animals, you have to think about them too. If you're not going outside and you're not taking them outside a lot, if you have like an indoor dog, they may suffer from seasonal depression too. I'm not really sure. I don't know a whole lot about animals. I just know about my animals, and I try to do what I can to help them stay active in the winter time as much as possible, because I'm definitely not going to sit out there with them and let them be free roaming on some of these colder days. So they're kind of just stuck in their chicken run, which it's a large chicken run, so it's a good size for these chickies, but this just kind of gives them something to do. And then later on, my husband and I are actually going to be building them a swing because my friend did some research and she told me that chickens like to have swings to swing on. And I'm just going to collect their eggs. Now, if you don't have any chickens, one thing I would recommend is to just take a little walk around your backyard. Go sit out there for a few moments. The nice cold air will really help wake you up, and there is something about getting outside, not getting outside like in the beginning of this video where you just hop in your car and go to a store, but where you're actually sitting outside for a while. It really just wakes you up and motivates you to get things done. Alright, so now that we are back inside, another tip that I would give you is to turn off your heat. I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but turn off the heat in your home and open up all of your windows. Now, this wasn't a completely freezing day, but it was just like a good winter chill, and the weather wasn't like super cold outside, but cold enough to where if you open your windows and you turn off your heat, you can feel the difference. Now, the reason why I like to do this is because it keeps me nice and cool when I'm working in my home in the winter, so I don't have to worry about sweating. Sometimes you walk into people's homes in the winter time and they have their heat on like 72 degrees, and it's a pain to have to work in that home because it's so hot. This is just a little tip. This will not only keep you from sweating, but it will continue to give you that winter chill that keeps you awake and motivated in your home. I know this seems like a really silly thing or maybe a small thing, but it really does help me in a huge way while I am tidying up my home and trying to get motivated to stay moving. And this will definitely help you do that. It will help you want to get up, move around, get things done. And not only that, but you get that nice, crisp, cold winter air in your home. If your home has been closed up all winter, it probably really needs some good fresh air. And this particular day, the air kind of smelled like sweet marshmallows. I don't know if somebody was roasting them, but the air just smelled so good outside. So it was great to just get that nice, crisp, clean winter air in my home while I got stuff done. Now, I would just say, make sure you're wearing a sweater and some long pants. Don't walk around with shorts and no socks because you may get sick. So just stay a bit bundled, not too much to where you can't get work done, but enough to where, the cold isn't going to have a negative impact on you. And then you want to go ahead and start some music, because I've noticed for myself, when I have music going in the background, when I'm doing things around the house, it just makes whatever I'm doing so much more fun. Now, I typically try to just do 1 cup of coffee a day, but if I am really unmotivated, like today, and I need to get some tidying up done around the house, then I will make another cup of coffee, but I do a iced coffee. There's something about iced coffee that doesn't make me feel sick. Sometimes if I have a second cup of hot coffee, it will kind of make me feel sick for some reason, but iced coffee doesn't do that, and it energizes me, it wakes me up, and so I'm gonna just make some espresso right now. And all I do is I fill up a mason jar with ice, and then once the espresso is done, I pour it over the mason jar with ice. And all that I add to my coffee is a few little donks of stevia and about a teaspoon of cinnamon, just because I love the way that cinnamon tastes. And then I froth it with my handheld frother. And then I just froth some heavy whip and I add that to it. My husband and I do the ketogenic diet, so with that diet, you have to have a lot of fat. That's why I always like to add heavy whip to my coffee. And that is just the perfect little pick me up. And as you drink your coffee before you get started on working again, just take a few moments to look outside and just enjoy the freezing cold weather. No, I'm joking. I am such a sunny summer person. I love the summer. I love being outside. I love sweating in the summertime. I'm just all about the heat and the sun. So the winters are really genuinely very hard for me. Let me know in the comment section below if the winters are hard for you and what you do to get motivated during the winter time. I would love to know. And then the next thing I like to do whenever I go to tidy up my house is I like to put all of the clean dishes away. I like to actually collect all of the dirty dishes from around the house and load those up in the dishwasher, along with any other dirty dishes that are in the kitchen. And I also wash any dishes by hand that need it as well. And that is something that honestly I always do. Sometimes when your house is a mess and you're unmotivated, you really don't know where to begin, so you just don't do anything at all. It can be really overwhelming. At least that's what I've heard. People have told me that so many times before. And so one thing that I would encourage you to do is always start off doing the same thing. And for me, that thing is the dishes. That's the first thing I always do. And then I find for some reason that once the dishes are done, everything else seems so much more easier and less intimidating. And if you have kids or you just don't feel good and you're not motivated and all you get done are the dishes, then just see that as a success. Don't feel discouraged by that. Sometimes we can't do everything and we have to just say, okay, you know what, today I'm going to do this one task. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And oftentimes you're able to do a much better job when you just only give yourself one thing to do. So don't watch this video and feel like you have to do all the things I'm doing. Just do what you can. I especially know that with little ones, sometimes a lot of these YouTube videos can be a bit unattainable. So please don't feel like you have to do it all or be the mom of the year. You just being there for your kids is enough. All right, and then before I start the dishwasher, the next thing I want to do is unload my fridge, and any of the food that I know we're not going to eat in the next few days that may go bad if we don't eat it in the next few days, I'm going to just put in these containers and give those to my chickies. My chickies love anything and everything I give them. They're so funny. And then I'm going to just wipe down the fridge, and stay tuned because in the month of March, I'm going to do a total fridge organization video. So I'm super excited about that. I just got done decluttering and reorganizing and minimizing my entire kitchen space, and I will link those videos down below for you. That was one of my goals for the new year, but the fridge is not something that I invested a whole lot of money in, so we're going to do that a little bit later down the road. All right, and now that I have emptied out all of the food that was about to go bad, I'm going to go ahead and load up the rest of those dishes in the dishwasher. And the last thing that I like to load up in the dishwasher before I run it are the cooktop grates. I just feel like that gives them a really great clean, and it also keeps me from having to scrub them down myself. It's just a little cleaning hack for you guys. And then I also am going to dry and put away all of the dishes that I washed by hand as well. And then I'm going to just collect all of the cleaning rags, the dish towels, and the drying mat, and I'm going to throw that in my dirty hamper. Now, this little section right here, I'm going to just kind of leave this be. My husband and I are doing a pantry makeover for a client of mine in a few days, and so I've just been collecting all of the things I've been purchasing for that pantry in this location right here. So I'm going to actually go through that tomorrow, but that is another tip I have for you. If you have certain projects that you see as you're cleaning your space, then what you can do is you can just write a little sticky note and put it on the wall in that section and make like a to-do list for that section. Like, these are the things that I need to do in order to get this space back together, and then just write a day, like what day you want to work on that. Don't feel like you have to tackle everything all at once. Just do a nice quick tidy up. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this really does help motivate you in the wintertime. When you wake up to an overall tidy home, it frees you up to be able to do the bigger projects. And now I am just going throughout the countertops in my kitchen, and I am tidying everything up that's out on the counter, putting them back in their proper places, and then wiping the countertop down with my homemade disinfecting wipes. These truly are a game changer, you guys. I will link the video for how to make these down below. It's just great because you don't have to spray the countertops and then get a rag and get the rag wet. The cleaner solution is already in the rags, and these specific rags that I bought, I will link down below because they absorb moisture so well. Or if you have a microfiber towel, I just think they absorb moisture and they work really well for disinfecting wipes. And it's just a matter of you pulling them out of the container and wiping your counters down. So it's super easy when you're cleaning. And then I'm going to just wipe off my Berkey and my water faucet with my glass cleaner. And then for my dining room table, I'm just going to close the blinds for now. I will close the windows before I go to bed, and I'm going to just tidy up in here. Nothing too big. And then I'm going to just tidy up on the other side of the kitchen counters and wipe them down. Now, one of my goals for this new year is to create a minimalist home. And honestly, this makes cleaning so much easier because you're not having to like wipe down a bunch of things or deal with a ton of things. The things you have in your home are things that you use on a regular basis. And I am definitely taking you guys along this journey with me. So make sure you hit that bell so you can be notified every time I do a decluttering video where I minimize every space in my home. And now we are just tidying up the living room space. Now, this morning, I did tidy up the living room, so that's pretty much done. I just had to put some clothes away that were air drying. And I am going to close the curtains in this room and put my record player away because we're about to go into the master bedroom. I'm going to just light a candle and take you guys to the master bedroom. Alright, so this is the last and final space that we are going to be working on because I feel like this tends to be the dumping ground for most homes, or maybe just mine. So I'm going to just close the curtains, put anything that's out on the bed away, and even though it is the evening time, I am going to make my bed. I like to do this if I've had a really hard day, I've not been motivated to do anything, but then around 4 o'clock, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna get up and get some stuff done. I will still make my bed because there is something about a bed that's made that just is really inspiring and it just makes everything else feel not as messy. And that is a little tip I would give you. Every morning when you wake up, make your bed. I don't do this every morning, but the mornings that I do, I just feel so inspired to tidy up the rest of my home. It's just a great little tip that I learned from some older women a while back, and it has proven to be very helpful for me. Now this dresser we are actually giving away to a friend, so all I'm doing here is taking the drawers out. That way when my husband goes to load it up in his truck tomorrow, it will be easy for him to load it up. And we are just having the one dresser that my husband and I share in our bedroom. This dresser used to be our entertainment center. We just did a whole living room makeover. I will link that video down below for you guys. But we moved this dresser from the living room into our bedroom, and now we just share it. But I'm not quite sure how I want to decorate this dresser or even if I want to at all. I did have this basket here that once we go through some of my husband's music books, I may put a few books in here. I'm not sure, or I may give this basket away and just leave the dresser empty because we are trying to create a minimalist space anyways. I'm just not quite sure about that yet. And then I just went ahead and I organized our closet a bit, just collecting all of the loose hangers and putting them in one location. That way when I go to do the laundry, I've got all of my free hangers ready to go. And now I'm going to try and tackle this heaping mound of clean laundry that I threw on the bed as I was cleaning the bedroom. Now, I did not get to all of this laundry. When I started folding this laundry, I started getting so tired. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening and I still hadn't eaten dinner, so once I was kind of to the point where I was like, you know what, I need to just stop, I went ahead and I ate dinner and I went to bed. And that's one thing that I would encourage you guys to do. Do not feel like you have to get everything done all at once. Some of the YouTube videos that I watch are so inspiring and so encouraging, but I don't allow it to make me feel like I have to mirror exactly what they're doing if they're able to do a whole house clean in a matter of a few hours. For me, I would rather take things slow, do things to the best of my ability, and not rush through things. And so basically, I was able to fold and put away most of this laundry, and then I ended up only having a hamper full of clothes that I set on my dresser that I put away the next day. And I also had a pile of clean winter blankets that I needed to fold. So I went ahead and I folded all of those and I put those in vacuum seal bags the following day as well. And that's it. I just did what I could, but honestly, when I woke up the next morning, I felt so inspired. My whole kitchen was clean. I felt like I could just hit the ground running. And so whatever spaces in your home that are just daunting, that you're like, you know what, if I can just get my kitchen cleaned, my living room cleaned, and my master bedroom cleaned, I'll be good to go. Like I could start the day tomorrow afresh, because those are kind of the main areas that you spend when you're in your home anyways. So I hope this video was motivating. I hope it encourages you guys, and I will definitely be praying for you guys as I'm praying for myself, that the Lord will just give me grace to make it through these next winter months or weeks or however long it's going to last, that He will give you guys that same grace as well, because the winter is just hard for some of us. But until next time, I love you guys so much. Bye.